Yeah.
When somebody tried to assassinate Donald Trump, did you see Antonelli? You can't recognize him.
What do I need to do?
I'll give you my address. You recognize that piece of sausage. I'll know Suzanne.
You want me to give you my address?
Yeah. Here, you need this more than me. And he throws the tray on the table like that was his tip.
Still doing all right?
You know? I grabbed him. I put him on the wall. Oh, I said, hey,
My dad taught me.
I said, I'm gonna drive him right through this wall. Who do you think you're talking to, right? Here comes, this guy's eating, he don't even know what happened. I didn't even hear it start. Meanwhile, I picked the tray up when he said that, and I threw it. And his change is going. I got him like this here. Some lady comes out. She says, why don't you leave these people alone? I said, are you the manager here? She says, no. I said, well, who are you? Well, I'm just a customer. You have a death wish. I said, just, oh, wait, please. Meanwhile, still got this guy. Here comes Chinese, yeah. Here comes the manager, and they start up, back and forth. I said, oh, time out. Talk American. Don't talk this crap, you know. So he starts speaking in.
When the yearbooks come around, you can sign them. And Father Euler's the one will have them.
You got Bob Taylor passing out the pen.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no classmates.
Intermission. So then the lady follows me. I let this whole thing drop. We go outside. The lady comes outside. No, she's a customer. And she starts again. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. He says, what is the matter with you? Leave me alone. You know, I said, look, I'm going to back up my car, but a lot of times it goes forward. So I want to warn you ahead of time. Ah, please. And it's my brother's fault. It's always my brother's fault. When I get blamed, yeah. When he doesn't do Antonelli's fault. Antonelli. The guy over there with the hat, that man there, he never graduated. That old man in the corner. Anyway, oh, you thought you were tall. Oh, Lord.
Glad to see you all, whoever is here, because we really appreciate you here this morning. And now that we are here, we are going to go through, it has to zip through because we only got 2 hours, but we're going to go with a fast agenda. And we're going to start off with I'm going to start off with the first-timers. First of all, of our classmates, who's the first-timer that came to the breakfast? The first-timer, new ones. Please stand up and say your name and class. And John there, our video guy, is going to take your picture.
I caught my hair.
Gene Chrysler from class of 58.
Good. Okay. Anything else you want to say for today? All right. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
All right. Next one is.
My name is Ronald Collier. I'm class 2003. The smallest class to ever graduate from Benedictine High School. We only graduated 50 kids.
Well, wonderful. Thank you for coming, both of you. All right. Now we go to the out-of-state classmates that very seldom they come once a year or whatever to our breakfast. Well, now they're here because the year they're celebrating is class of 1958. So all the out-of-state classmates, please stand and give your name and the class you're from again, which is 58. And if anybody else is from out of town, please stand.
Stan's from Broadview Heights. He's obviously.
All right. You're from out of state.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Dennis Franco. Where do I live? Orlando, Florida. Class of 58.
It's a long drive.
Chuck Miserabino, class of 58, outside of Indianapolis.
What?
Anybody else? I guess that's it.
Well,
We're the only out-of-towners?
Julia's, yeah, from out of state.
Geez.
I know there was a lot at Stagnite probably, and they come from out of state.
Yeah, we had 16 guys from our class last night at the Stag Night.
Well, that's wonderful.
And we'll have 13 more plus their escorts tonight at Terry Serino's, so.
Well, that's.
But we're gonna change that. Instead of having each class do their separate dinners, we're gonna get back to having it all one big dinner so that even though there's only one or two left from your years, that you'll be able to come to a dinner and enjoy that.
That's wonderful.
So I talked to Brian Lacy about that and Frank Basu yesterday about that.
Thanks, Denny.
Okay.
That's really good. All right, now.
Lucasville. They're there already.
All right, so now we have no guest speakers, I think. We're waiting for Dr. Basu to come. But I guess if anybody had a hangover from yesterday, they're still sleeping it off, right? Yeah. So we have to get guest speakers.
Tony
for
got a
now.
hangover from graduation.
Right.
I just got rid of it about 2 weeks ago.
So right now, first of all, I want to let you know, myself and John Sullivan and Russell Davis, 3 of us started all this breakfast business about 5, 6 years ago. And then it got, oh, we heard about this, could we come? This thing clicked off like a rocket to the moon because from the 3 of us, the registration for us right now, for retirees of all the classes, my registration is over 85. 85 and still climbing. So if it ever gets this room too big, guess where your butt's going out there? Because, I mean, it's fantastic. More and more are calling, and look at it this way. A lot of you that went through the high school 4 years, you never met everyone in the 4 years. It's 55, 60 years later, they're meeting each other for the first time here. Isn't that something? Never met each other in their classes in the 4 years. That's what's really happening. So this is what's really good about it. All right. So we're going to move right along. As you know, this is a little special breakfast. Is because we always mix in. I always say blend in. And that's how we all did. We blended from all the classes. So you're not all just one class. We here is all one class now, the Golden Seniors. This is we got something and we're holding on to something for us. The school, yes, they do their own thing. They educate the young ones, college, whatever. But when you're retired, there's nothing. So we started this, and like I said, it grew like a snowball. So we're going to do this from now on, and keep it going as best we can, because you guys really enjoy this. So we'll just build up as we go and add on and keep going. So God bless us that we could do this.
Bob,
Yes.
tell them the new schedule for next year.
Yeah, I will. I'm coming down to that. First of all, right now, since it's a special thing, I set up a little altar for us here. We go back in time. Okay? We go back in time and trying to remember what those school days were like for us. And you know what? It's good to reflect because a lot of them just forget or they won't want to forget, but they want to still remember what it was like. So I have a book here on the right, which is our photo book. If you're here and your photo's not in there, John will take a snapshot of you. You go into the Book of the Living. Next, that's the Book of the Living. Next to it is all the deceased classmates in the book to the left. And that is all the classmates that are deceased from all the classes of Benedictine. Joe Hornett, class of 51, always took all the deceased classmates and had a listing in the Abbey Library. So for some reason, he came here, he loved it. He called me up one time, he says, Bob, I love what you're doing, you guys. I want you guys up here to have a list of all the classmates of their classes of the deceased. And I said, Joe, why do you want to do that? He says, because I want to have them have something to look for all the, go back in time of all their classmates that are gone. So in that book to the left is the Book of the Deceased. You can go anytime and look up your classmates that are passed away. And if there is any new ones, add them to the book, there's it in the front, or tell me, and we could also add them into the book. If you wish to have a copy of any of your classmates that are deceased, I just handed out 2 copies to Jim Adair, he went in class of 62. Just let me know, I make a copy, I can send it to you, whatever, but there's the books, take a look after the breath test, and go through them. But right now, since Father Ganda, I thought it might come, but I guess he's detained, we got our second in choice is our Father Euler, that will say the blessing of the living and the deceased for a memory of all of us to go back and remember our classmates that are not here anymore. Father Euler, would you please do us a favor and do a prayer? Blessing.
Yeah, I'm class of 48, so nice to be with you young guys.
Nice to have you here, Father.
Somebody was talking about appreciating the past if we can remember it. So you got to start talking, and then all of a sudden it starts working. I know I brought 4 yearbooks with me, 46, 47, 48, 49, and I know that not everybody wants to look at it because they say, well, that's not my class. But up in the front, the pictures of all the teachers and coaches is something that any of the albums you'd probably find interesting. I'm not supposed to stand up here and give you a long talk. I was reading a book by Frank Cunningham. He's from Notre Dame, and he wrote a book about aging, I guess you call it, called Vesper Time. Vesper means evening, so a lot of people call what we're in the evening of life. Don't like the term so much, but I think a key thing that he talks about in his little book is he talks about remembering and then why do you remember? And I like the point he makes. You remember and you are grateful. You know, I remember being at Benedictine. I look through the albums and I look at all those profs and coaches. I remember them. But he says the key thing to really being happy is when you do remember, be grateful. So whether it's thinking about the grade school you went to, the people you knew in your parish, high school days, or any other time of your life, you remember those things and with a sense of gratitude. Now there was one person that was there all the time, through all those stages. You know who that was? That's the good Lord. And again, first thing, gratitude to the good Lord for being in our lives and always letting us know that He likes us. A lot of people didn't necessarily like us, but He always does. He loves us. That's what He keeps telling us. So that's my sermon for the day. But to remember with gratitude. I went to the stag night last night. Collier did, and 160 guys, right?
Yeah.
And great. I never saw so much smiling in my life. And guys gesturing, and they're obviously telling stories about their days. And it was just a great thing. But to remember and to relive those things with gratitude. Think about the ways you're grateful maybe for a particular professor. Bob Peck over here was a coach and teacher at Benedictine too. And I don't know, I'm in a nursing home right now, Marymount Place, and I've got a classmate, Bob Ball, another guy from a couple years before me, Bob's classmate, Ted Blanda, Sal Salupo. There's another one I'm forgetting. But you get, all of a sudden you bump into these people again in your life and starts remembering makes you start remembering all these things. But that's what we're doing. Thanks for coming. And I hope that your life is going great, and I hope that your memories of what God has done in your life give you a lot of gratitude. I pray, not just to pray for a couple books or for somebody's album, but I pray for all of you and your families. Pray that all of you may see the value of your life the way God sees it. Everybody's important to God. And thinking of classmates again, Dennis Franco here is a classmate to, his
Brother.
kid brother to one of my classmates.
Right.
Who threw the heaviest darn fastball I ever met a bat to.
Yeah.
He threw a heavy ball. But those were good days. I remember them, and I remember them gratefully, because they all had something to do with what I am today. So I hope that you can look at your life that way and feel good about it. So I do ask the Lord to bless us again, to keep blessing us. Ask Him especially to bless us with a desire to know Him better. He said once, "Seek and you shall find." I pray that all of us are seeking a closer relationship with the good Lord. And pray for flower pots and books and classmates.
And may we have your blessing, Father.
Yeah.
God be with you.
Yes, Lord.
May God bless you and be with you and draw you ever closer to Himself, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, that felt good.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, before we proceed, I just want to announce that Father will be hearing your confessions afterwards.
Yes, all right. General.
Followed by the last rites.
Hey, I'm Protestant. I don't know if that applies to me.
I walk in the place and what two things do people talk about? Oh, Father's here so that He can give us the last rites and so in case somebody leaves. Or, Father, would you hear my confession? We're sort of tired of hearing those jokes.
Followed by anointing with alcohol.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Father. Well, it's so nice because, like I said, this book is here for you guys to look at, and it's going to stay here until the end of the breakfast. Page through the photo albums, you'll recognize some of the classmates you know. In the book itself, you could turn to the pages of your year. I try to keep everybody separate classes of the deceased. And I'm trying to keep up from Joan Horniak from 1951, bless his soul, to give this, because I here put it in this book. Any new ones come, I put in and send also to the Abbey. And the Abbey does the same. So we know and we keep them in mind and not just forget about them, So that's the main thing. And now with Father Euler, okay, look at you guys, you still have each other. They have one or two here. Most of his classmates are gone. So I just say in honor and respect, let's sign his yearbook from all of us and be his classmate. He's part of us, we're part of him. Okay? All right? Okay, God bless. We're going to have everybody be.
That's the book right there.
All right, that's the book. Then you pass it around, you all got your pens, and go from there, okay? So that's how we got something we started with, all of us, and we're going to hold on to what we got. Okay? This means a lot. We're going to hold on to it. All right.
Good job.
We tried. Three of us, okay? Okay, so with that in mind, I want to just make a couple of suggestions here, is because before we close, Dennis will do a little honor for us. I would like to announce that early enough so that you guys know, for the year of 2019, we are going to change the whole aspect of the breakfast of the date of the month. We're not going to have, we're not going to have, yeah, right. We're not going to have the month of January or February. So you guys won't have to travel in those 2 months, in the ice, the cold, whatever. So that is out, those 2 months. So we will start in 2019 in the month of March, late March. Then we will go to June. Then we will go to September. And then we will end up with December. So instead of 3, we'll have 4.
I don't know what they ate last night. You want me to remember?
The what?
I don't know what they ate last night. You want me to remember?
I'll send you an email.
I was pouring back.
Brian will let you all know.
He remembers what he drank.
So we will announce that again in September.
That could come after tonight.
I will announce that again in September. And the next one for us, the regular one, you can mark it, you got little slips there, will be September 8th. Will be our next regular breakfast here, okay? So, of that, if anybody has any comments before we do close, would you like to say anything?
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not doing that.
Nobody?
Bob, look this way.
Tony like this.
You don't have to. All right, because right now, and I know you guys probably, when you left high school, when is the last time you ever sang our alma mater? And I know you sound like frogs, but we're going to do it because you know what? That means a lot. And like I said, I don't even know when the last time I even sung it. Was that at some football game? And that was it. So Dennis Franco is going to pass out these little slips. Okay, and then you can go around whenever you're ready.
When is the band coming in to help us?
And this, like I said, we go back in time. This is what it's all about. So we all appreciate it. So guys, let us remember and do one more thing, to sing our alma mater. Dennis will pass them out.
Three, take one.
And he's gonna sing because he's the only one that's got a voice.
Hey, I'm keeping
I
it.
just lost it. I just lost it.
Wait, I had spit. You'll be surprised how I don't even know my name much better.
Everybody have one?
Football game.
Everybody have one?
I know what I say.
Somebody have one. Okay.
I'll take one, Dennis.
There we go.
Thank you.
Right.
All right, Dennis, when you are ready, let us remember back those days, guys. This is it. Ready?
All right, well, first of all, I think we owe a big round of applause for Bob and his committee for the job they're doing. And even though Bob, who graduated from St. Elizabeth's with my wife, always puts the word final get together, there will never be a final, because if we don't do it here, we'll do it somewhere else, right, Father?
Then it'll be final.
Yeah, that'll be our final home, that's for sure. So, you don't have to stand as we usually do. You know, for most of us stand, we don't have to do that, so please join with me. All hail Benedictine, our dear old white and blue. We pledge our loyalty, all thy sons so true. Your cherished tradition, we tenderly review. We give alma mater our hearts to you. No, we don't repeat that.
Oh, wait. I never repeated that.
That's a misprint.
like to put a little slogan in there. I use it in my email. I like to use it here at the end. I always like to say, dilly dilly, rejoice and be happy.
Right.
Okay? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, one other thing, I spoke with Frank Basu yesterday, and we have, a long time ago, went through the tradition of a 3-day event, 1 for the guys alone, 2 for couples, and 3 the mass and brunch for families. So we'll keep with that idea, but the idea is to also, instead of having each class have their dinner or couples get together on Saturday evening, is to get back to the old way of having it available to everyone. And then those classes can sit together, if they wish, at their respective tables for the dinner. It's very difficult. You know, we have to give a guarantee of 25 or more people for tonight at Carrie Sereno's. Fortunately, I'm up to 26. Otherwise, you have to pay for the rental of the hall. So, you know, for $35 per person, you get a full course meal, you get the use of their hall or facility, and you get everybody together. And as Bob said, sometimes, as I tell people, you don't attend when I send you out an invitation, you're going on that list. That means you're not here anymore. You're incommunicado, whether you're alive or not. So always take part of it. The day before, on Thursday of this past week, this week I should say, we had a get-together of most of our grade school or Buckeye Road grade school, elementary school reunions. We had it at the American Legion Post on State and Ridgewood. We had 38 people there, 38 people, which is great. We had the commander of that post is one of my grade school classmates. Also present at that reunion were 3 girls I was baptized with. So once you're a friend of mine, you're a friend for life. You're not going to get rid of me that easy, so as Bob well knows. So I thank you, like Bob said, for coming today. Anybody wants to come tonight to our dinner, $35 per person, but I gotta know now because you have a choice of either veal parmesan, chicken marsala, or Boston scrap. I have to call in the finals today, so. Anyway, thanks again, Bob.
All right, thank you. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys coming. Is there anything else anybody would like to say before we dismiss? I want to thank you guys from out of state coming and from the class of 58 too, mostly. I have my class of 1960 here. We got a few there, but you can see how things come down to the side. We got a couple here with Father Euler's class. Remember, your class may come down gradually to that. But thank God, as I say, Father, thank you.
All right, my name is Ronald Collier, class 2003. Smallest class I ever graduated from Benedictine. After I left Benedictine, I went to Bowling Green State University, graduated in 2009. I'm active in my church. I'm not Catholic. I go to Church of Savior United Methodist Church, Cleveland Heights. I teach in Richmond Heights City School System, and I love it. And I'm glad to be. I love Benedictine traditions. It carries me into how I do my teaching every day and how I do my discipline with my students. I teach them the Benedictine, I use the Benedictine ways as to how I deal with my students. That's all I gotta say.
Hi, I'm Gene Cresa, class of 1958. I went to Fenn College after I graduated from Benedictine, and then I went to work at NASA in Cleveland, and I spent my whole career there at NASA. I retired in 1998. I'm married to my wife Celeste. I have 2 children, Andrew and Elizabeth. Andrew lives in the Cleveland area. He has 2 children, 2 boys. My daughter lives outside Washington, D.C. She has our grandsons. We have 3 grandsons. Right now they're 5, 8, and 11 years old. We have fun with them. We like to travel, we like to go on cruises. And I enjoyed being here for this 60th reunion. Yeah, we're still out there, yeah.
Put them in sleep.
Rudy Arvett just passed away recently. Yeah.
I want to thank you for
He lost his wife and then he passed away. Dick Omraki, he passed away a long time ago, unfortunately.